Tuesday the 6th of March 18, I'm attempting to get to the start of the England Coast Path that's defined in Norfolk from Hopton on Sea. Now the tide is in, and what's described further on as the Norfolk Coast Path is under water at the moment with a very high tide. So I walked along the coast road and came to Suffolk. So clearly the Norfolk Coast Path is not going to be in Suffolk. Now there is no sign telling me that I'm returning to Norfolk on the other side. So I'm going to continue along here, go through the edge of Hopton Holiday Village, and then you will see how the footpath develops. So that coast road comes into Hopton on Sea here. There's the sign telling us to go to Galston, Hopton, Great Yarmouth, and Hopton and Lowestoft. In the centre of Hopton village is this building. And I go to the corner and turn right. Holiday Village. That was St Margaret's Church ruins in Hopton. So coming to the main junction in Hopton on Sea, past the sign for Coast Road, onto Warham Road, which leads round to the Holiday Village. Hopton Holiday Village, going through the site is this road. It goes into a track eventually. After the crossroads we go into Warham Road. It says no through road. This is where I saw the acorn sign for a national trail. So the track keeps going to this row of cottages, and there's the acorn sign directing us to the right, which leads to the beach. At the end of that track there is an entrance exit to and from the Holiday Village, but there are some steps going down. So the sign along the edge of the sea says Norfolk Coast Path, and the way I've just come, Norfolk Coast Path alternative route, that you can see at times of high tide, I think we're on spring tides as well, you're not able to walk that way. This way is a bit different. You can walk along the land side of the groins. It's splashing over a bit further on, but eventually you get to a beach, so that part is quite safe. That's the way I'll go. Whether that is the way of the England Coast Path, I don't know, because I've not seen a sign for the England Coast Path yet. So down at the bottom, I'm getting behind the groins. Just here a lot of the sand has been washed away. You can see the edge there, and the sea is rather noisy. To come down to the lower level because a little bit of sand left at the top of this is too narrow around here. And there is the bank. So that's just about at the end of that section. Coming to more civilization area now. So it ends up in a tarmac walkway above the beach. This is approaching an area called Galston-on-Sea, I think, Galston. And still, we only have the sign for Norfolk Coast Path, but I don't see why England Coast Path would be a different one. Continuing along the promenade, getting nearer to Great Yarmouth eventually. So we approach the beach cafe. Further along the front we have this rather nice bridge. And here there's been some moving of the sand to make the beach more presentable. Nearly at the end of that promenade, so I hope there's a sign of some sort to guide us on our way. That's the best we can do at the moment. Norfolk Coast Path National Trail and a wishing well. So the sign makes us continue along the edge of the sand here. So it comes out in this road area here, and we've continued walking along Key Road. We've got the river Yar on our right now, so we have to stay this side because there's no bridge until you get to Yarmouth. We have to go up the steps to get over the sea defence to continue the Norfolk Coast Path. The view looking back, the river, looking ahead. Turns off the road, we have to go up away from the road. There's an information board about Great Yarmouth and Galston Historic Waterfront, and we walk along this rather neglected looking path up and over again onto a wider grassed area. So nicely positioned, but it's not too much of a view overlooking the river. Industrialised on the other side. So still plodding along that little bit of river wall here. And we come to the end of it and have to backtrack 180 degrees over the ramp and the defence. There's the sign. And round we go. I had to cross over onto the industrial side because there's no pavement on the other side. Sign again on the lamp post. Happy with those, but I wish they'd say England Coast Path as well. Still another sign. So, interesting lot of buildings on the left hand side as they overlook the water. The yellow one was particularly fascinating. So we now have a variation, sharp left turn. there are two ways to go up, so I'll take this one. And then the steps, the last bit up. And at the top, got the view of the river, and the path comes out onto the road. And I thought it might have gone down the side road here, but no, I can see a sign on the corner of this building, or the lamppost, telling us it's down this way. So down there, as long as these signs keep cropping up, and that's the way I'll follow to Great Yarmouth. Now I'm passing Galston Fire Station. And that's brought us to the busy road here, with no indication so far as how to get there. Oh, here we are. Spoke too soon. There's the sign, Norfolk Coast Path, on the signboard there. So instead of continuing along the road ahead, we have to turn left here, following cycle route 1 as well. So across there. That was just across the road. We're still carrying on because there's no pavement on the other side. And it's still straight on. More and more industry mixed up with houses. I hadn't seen a sign for some time, but that's it now, so we're still on the right way there. Bit of a tricky junction here, but we go across towards the ex-railway hotel. So the sign pointing me to the bridge in Great Yarmouth. We're about to go over it any second. There's the bridge coming up. With the tide now going out. Another look at the river. So the track has now made us turn south along the Yarmouth side of the river. Maybe just across the road, we shall see in a moment. No, it's between the walls here and down here. Welcome to historic South Quay. Luckily the track now crosses the road. I hope it stops going south. You know, we'll cross here. The sign did point across the road and in this direction on the other side. And this is the correct way. Going up here past these flats to the building at the top. And it looks as if we've got to cross this road. Got to cross there. There's certainly a nice sign for it here, pointing us in that direction. An interesting looking park straight ahead. Not sure which way you go. Oh, here's another sign. As soon as you say not sure, there's a sign down here. And along the edge of the open grassed area. And the path leads us directly to the seafront. When you thought that you'd come to the end of it, well, here we go, down here. And it's going to lead us across the road. Across the road. Across this bit here. And turn here. To Great Yarmouth seafront. it turns off the road at the seafront here and then climbs up to continue along the promenade. And there's towers that light festival occasions. So we approach Britannia Pier. Straight ahead, the Royalty Theatre. Or is it a cinema? Hollywood Cinema. So the path disappears nearly under the pier. So under the pier and up the other side along the promenade. It's now 3:10. The promenade going towards Caister seems to be going on forever. I hope to get to Caister. So we return to the road and the sign tells us to turn here. Eventually arriving back at the road. The Norfolk Coast Path is certainly well marked. Approaching the end of that long walk north from Great Yarmouth. The main road turned off a little while ago. We're just left with the access to the Haven Charlie site, bungalow site, holiday bungalows. Past the Coast Guard lookout. We are at Great Yarmouth North Dean's Dunes. There's a sign there. Part of the England coast. Oh, we've got a sign there. Anyway, it turns around there and continues in front of the holiday properties here. So it's called Scroby Sands Offshore Wind Farm, commissioned in March '04. So we're at the end of the gravel driveway in front of those holiday caravans. We now pick up the bank, walk along the top of the bank. So this is the end of the holiday site. I think that's Caister in front with the water tower. We have a little post here with the acorn on it. I don't think the post's going to grow any bigger though. There's a beacon just there, and you can actually see the sea breaking on the seashore there. Wide expanse of dunes, coastal path following the edge of the dunes. And almost in the middle of nowhere, we get a sign telling us that this is the way. And another one. And they keep cropping up. So where does this one go then? passing Cased lifeboat station now. And the sign tells us to go that way, but I can't see much of a way that way. I think this is where I'm going to leave the seafront today, just about 4 o'clock. Go through the gateway here with the 2 lions. Go through the small gap. Wednesday the 7th of March 18, about 11:15. This is where I finished yesterday with the 2 lions, so it's where I continue walking north today. And there's the view looking south. And the view looking north. With the sign just here telling us to get off the sand and into the dunes. So with the signboard showing straight ahead, along the way I go. So continuing along in front of the caravans, and it continues along the dunes. I've now come out in front of the caravans onto the grit road, so still continuing in the same direction of course. The caravans have finished and so it's back onto the dunes. So here's an exit and entrance to Cased Holiday Park. With the sea down that way. That's the way ahead. There's several warning beacon type things there. A few more sand dunes. And the sign shows the walk climbing up from the dunes onto a good track at the top. Oh, very good track. But then at this point it suddenly gets us off that track and across that way. But it still looks like a good path. So the good path has come to an end. I'm still on a fair path though. It's going through the dunes now. We see that there are some sea defences, groups of rocks to stop the sand washing away. A sign in a clearing here directs us down onto the rocks by the look of it. I should go and have a look, but it doesn't look very good for carrying on. And there does appear to be a way around, although there's notice that says caution, beware cliff falls. And so it comes to this little scramble around the rocks. So after a scramble over some rocks, we come to this situation here. That's the way I've just come. There's a sign board or 2 there, Scrapby half a mile, Cased Point 2 miles back, so Scrapby half a mile ahead, up through this steps. At least it's getting away from all the scrambling over the rocks. We're on top of the cliff instead. So we've come out at the top, the California Tavern. This would appear to be the little village of California. So this one is California Cliffs, a Park Dune resort. The entrance to California Cliffs. Caravans for sale. What were they, from about 19,000? So the road opens out at the top. There's a car parking area and the row of cottages. I don't know where the path goes though. So the official route comes up the cliffside here, and we reach the sign here, and it tells us that when the beach route is impossible, which is during severe weather and during some high tides, there is a signed alternative route. I think that's the one I like anyway. So on the alternative route, although I've not seen any recent signs for it, I should go down this road. There's no sign that's telling us it's the signed route though, and it opens up at the top of the cliff like this. At the end of the road track, we get the sign here showing the National Trail sign. It doesn't actually say Norfolk Coast Path this time. Down this track here, another concrete track this time, but very clear, at the top of the cliffs. Coming to the end of that track, we come to a big amusement area now, and there is a signboard here that says alternative route, Winterton on Sea 1.5 miles. So it's 1.5 miles down this way. This is described as Hemsbury car parks. Once through the car park, it's into a big open grassed area, at the end of which is this gate. And through the gate, downhill a bit, so halfway to Winterton. The next 5.25 miles of the Norfolk Coast Path passes through nationally and internationally sensitive wildlife sites. Follow the waymarked route. So, following the waymarked route, and we see a lighthouse further on. They're still continuing on this very wide open grassland, but we've got a bit closer to the lighthouse. So we come out at some sort of civilization. Winterton on Sea, I suspect. We have a big indicator board in a minute. So here we are, come out at the road, Norfolk Coast Path, part of the England Coast Path. So we go here and then turn left. So Norfolk Coast Path down that way, and not over the dunes. Right. So at the end of the road, the coast path branches off. That's the way the path goes. This car park is locked after 4 PM and it costs £6 a day. So we reach this point where there's a sharp right, and then there it's a sharp left through the huts here. So that's the way it goes. Winterton Dunes, a National Nature Reserve, and the Norfolk Coast Path turns in. So this is the section north of Winterton. Very wild section. No roads nearby. Well, that's the most amazing piece of sand dunes I've seen for a while. Anyway, there's the beach. And then we're getting a lot of breakwaters. It's a very exposed area. The area has changed from being purely sand dunes to these vegetation growing now, silver birch trees, but there's the path I'm on. The path directs us onto this wide one, and then it's turning sharp right in a second. Winterton Dunes. So that's the end of the Winterton Dunes National Nature Reserve. We're coming out in this area. So all the pointer says is Norfolk Coast Path north and south, and access to beach. So the interesting sign this time, Norfolk Coast Path north and south, but seal colony viewing area. I wonder if the seals charge admission. There's the path straight ahead. Norfolk Coast Path north and south, but inland 1 mile, Nelson Head Pub. So I had a look on my map, but it's not on there. Perhaps it's because the map is about 45 years old. So there's a notice about the horsey grey seal colony, and here the path, Winterton on Sea 3.5 miles, Norfolk Coast Path to the north, it doesn't say how far. So that's the next area. I thought that was covered in water for a minute, but apparently it's a car park. And so out the other side of the car park and onto Waxham Great Barn, 2 miles. So it says Warren Farm Estate, so obviously our path not going through the estate, going round it. So that's the end of the Warren Farm section. Now we have the signpost here, Hulty Gap 1 mile, but more important, Sea Paling 2 miles, and I think that finishes the section that I started yesterday. It's been developed as far as Sea Paling, and then the next piece from Sea Paling onwards, I think to Weybourne, has been developed. But this section finishes at Sea.
Yeah, they're very cute. When they're small and white and they've just been born, they're incredibly cute. You see thousands.
Not having a path through the dunes visible, I've been advised to come along the seafront. Now the sea has washed a lot of sand away, and I stand corrected on how you pronounce it. It's Sea Paling. For 50 years I've called it Sea Paling. So there we are, it's got 2 owls. So, coming to the end of the walk along the sea wall, we're looking out for entrance 33 at Sea Paling, which was 2 miles. So the seawall gone all together along the beach just past entrance 34, so Sea Paling the next one, 33. So we've now picked up some more steps. This may be junction 33. So it's the Sea Pauling Independent Lifeboat Station with the National Trail sign at the top there. So it's up this. The view of Sea Pauling with the sign at the bottom. So it tells us here that we've come 21 miles from Hopton and 16 miles still to go to Cromer. And across the top of the sand dunes.